Hey, what's up guys? Thank you so much for tuning into my astrophotography channel today. I'm going to be bringing you a basic tutorial today on LRGB combination. It's going to be solely in PixInsight. We're just going to discuss how to combine your RGB data and then overlay your Luminance data for a colorful yet detailed final image. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to answer. But other than that, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be uploading more videos, a couple every week. And thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm going to be using my Sierra's Galaxy data. Here I have my Luminance stack and my RGB stacks. Now these are, I think there's about an hour of data each in my RGB channel and about 17 hours of data in my Luminance channel. These have all been combined, they've all been star aligned, and they're ready to stack. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to stretch our RGB data, then we're going to combine it, and then we're going to get the color and the saturation that we like, and then we are going to overlay it with our Luminance data. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and go up to processes, and we're going to use histogram transformation to stretch all of our stacks. I'm going to start off with red. I'm going to go to intensity transformation and histogram transformation. Go ahead and do a live view. Now you don't have to stretch these, you don't have to stretch them super harshly, just a simple light stretch should do. I'm going to go ahead and say that's okay there. Apply that. So my red stack is finished. Then I'm going to my green, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Increase the midtones, apply, decrease the darks, and I like it to match as close as possible to, I want my R, G, and B to be as equal as you can, because let's say your green channel is brighter, you're going to have green. It's not a huge deal, it just makes things easier in the long run. So maybe a little bit dimmer here, or yeah, a little bit lighter, I'm sorry. Go ahead and apply. And those look similar, so I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to go do the same exact thing with my blue stack. Bring the midtones up, apply it, and bring the darks down a little bit and apply it. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. So now, after we've stretched them, and if you are already star aligned, if your if your RGB channels are already aligned to each other, then you're ready to go ahead and LRGB combine. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go to process, all process, and then LRGB combination. Go ahead and uncheck this Luminance channel, because right now we're only combining our RGB data. And make sure you select the correct ones for your red, green, and blue channel. So for my red channel, I'm going to do Sierra's Galaxy red stack registered. And likewise for my green stack and my blue stack. These are all okay. Keep everything the same and go ahead and apply. Now the color might not come out as you like, but that's what color adjustments are for. And it should be fairly easy if you have enough data. So you can definitely see that mine has a greenish hue to it. What you can do here is just go to process. Well, this is what I personally would do to get rid of any green hues. Noise reduction and SCNR noise reduction. And I'll go ahead and apply that. If you don't have if your greens aren't popping out, you can go ahead and skip this step. But right now what we're going to do is just try and work on this color balance. And what I'm seeing here is it's pretty blue. I should have made this background even. I'm going to go ahead and do process, background modelization, and automatic background extractor, and that should even out the background a little bit. Get rid of the red hues here and the bluer hues. Make for a flat background, and you just want to make sure this is on subtraction when you do so. Alright, so yeah, that cleaned up rather nicely. And you don't have to worry about how noisy it is. You just want your color correct. So right now I like the color in the stars actually. You can see some oranges here and some blues, so I'm okay with the stars. The galaxy itself I think needs some adjusting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mask, and this will allow me to just edit the colors of the galaxy and exclude the background and the stars from the image. So my favorite way of doing a mask is going to process and range selection. And what this does, this tool is exceptional for making masks because you can really manipulate what areas you want masked and what areas you don't want masked. So you're going to come up with this white screen and you want to bring the lower limit down. You can see as you do that, you are only highlighting the galaxy, and the stars, but using the smoothness layer right here, you'll get a nice blend. You don't want these hard edges here. Otherwise, you'll be able to tell a huge difference between the edits you did to the galaxy, because you're not going to have any edits in the background, and you're going to have a weird like line and gradient around your galaxy. So you want to smooth that out. Like so. This fuzziness layer gives you some dynamic range. And you just mess with these sliders. You can keep trying, keep making new masks, applying them. This takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of know-how to understand how it actually works. But once you start to do it a lot, it is a great tool. So this looks like it covers my galaxy pretty well. Everything here in the background will not be touched. These stars will be touched a little bit, but they're bright, so that's okay. If I increase the saturation of my galaxy, I'll potentially be increasing the saturation of these stars right here, and I don't mind that because I like vibrant star colors. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as my mask. Exit out of this. All right, now I'm just going to, sorry about that, I'm just going to apply this mask. So just drag this little icon over to your image. Maybe. Nope, I accidentally cloned it. All right, so you just drag it, a little square will pop up, and then release. So this is what it should look like. All this dark red here will not be touched, and this area, especially this core, this will be when you do your saturation or your color adjustments. This area is going to be affected the most, and this outer area will be affected, but not so much, and then this dark red area around here will not be affected at all. You can go ahead and hit show mask and make sure this is brown because that means it's applied. If this isn't brown, you can just go and hit enable, and it should be applied when it's brown. So now I will show you. I'm going to do curves adjustment because that's where you can really increase your saturation. And I'm going to show you real fast what that looks like. Do a live preview. Go to saturation, and you can see just the galaxy. Maybe it'd probably be easier if I do luminance to show you. So just the galaxy and some of the stars actually are being adjusted, but the background is perfectly flat. It's not really being touched at all, and that's good. So now we can just do a color adjustment for the galaxy and get the galaxy the color that we want. And so definitely bring up the luminance a little bit, and then I'm going to bring up the saturation a lot actually. Maybe bring up the reds, maybe not so much. I do like that central dust lane right there to be a little brown because I think that's the actual, I don't know if that's the actual color. It's pleasing to my eye. So I like that color right there. I'm going to go ahead and increase my blues as well. It's a little much, and this is all personal preference. It takes practice to get this down. You don't want any greens in there. That looks pretty natural to me. Maybe a little less red down here on the back end, on the darker areas. Bring that up. Go ahead and apply it. And what you can do is you can apply it once, and then you can apply it again to make it to really emphasize the colors. Okay, I won't. You don't want to apply it again because then it'll look like this. That's way too pink. I'm just going to start right over and increase saturation again. Now the color is really coming out. It's a little too red. Bring down the reds a tad. Maybe bring up the greens to make it more of a yellow. Bring down the greens in the back. Bring saturation up again, maybe. Okay, yeah, I'm fairly pleased with that, with those results. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that again. All right, so now, as you can see, it's horribly noisy. There's no detail. It's just mostly color, and that's perfectly fine because what we're gonna do now, well, we're gonna blur it and we're gonna get rid of all the noise. But our next thing after we process our galaxy and get the color we want, what we're gonna do is go to Mask, Invert Mask. And what this is gonna do, I'll show you. It only masks the bright stars in the galaxy. So now we will be dealing with only the background. Go to Mask, Show Mask. Oh, I hit Enable. Show Mask. All right, now you can go back to your curve transformation. Usually just bring down the luminance. The color's fine. It's black, dark gray. You don't have any color gradient, so I'm not going to mess with the color. I'm just going to bring down the luminance a bit. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And I'm pretty happy with that. So go to Image, click Close out of your curve transformations. Go to Remove Mask. I'm sorry if you can hear my water heater in the background. It's actually pretty loud, and that just kicked on. So my sincerest apologies. And it turned off. Okay. So let's hurry up before that starts up again. All right, so we have our color data. It's all good to go. And now we are going to focus on our luminance data. I'm going to subtract this or minimize it. I'm sorry because my workspace is horribly unorganized. Move this over. All right, so now we're just going to stretch our luminance data. As you can see, it should line up perfectly with your color data. Just pops right into place there. Yeah, so our color image is good and ready to go. Almost. Minimize that there. Okay, so now we're going to just increase our luminance data. Go to intensity transformation, histogram. We're going to do the same thing we did with our RGB data. Just bring up the midtones and bring down the darks. Maybe the midtones up a little more. Just stretch it to your liking. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. And what you should have this deconvoluted. Before you combine your luminance with your RGB data, since all your details are going to be coming out of your luminance channel, you're going to want to deconvolute. You're going to want to noise reduce, because what you see here is what you're going to see in your final image, but with color. So you want to have a final luminance image. I'm not going to go through deconvolution or HDR multi-scale transform or anything, because this is just a LRGB combination video. So I like to stretch here. The detail actually looks pretty nice. The noise also negligible. So that's ready to combine. Now remember the amount of noise that we see here in this image. What we're going to do is convolute. It's a process called convolution, and that's going to blur the image and completely get rid of all the noise. And that's okay if we blur it, because this channel, the RGB data, is not where we get our detail. It's our luminance channels where we get all of our detail. So we're going to go to Process, Convolution. You can do this with narrowband as well, and it works as if you're using your hydrogen alpha as a luminance layer. You can convolute your color image and then overlay your hydrogen alpha, and it really helps to control noise. So let's do a live view here. And what you just want to do is adjust the standard deviation slider, and you can see as I go from back to not blurry to blurry, and depending on how much noise you have in your image, depends on how high you want your standard deviation to be set. So I'm just going to go with 4.20. I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and I'll show you here. You have some noise. I could probably even do it more, but that's negligible. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. So now is when we combine. Go to Process, back to LRGB combination, instead of having this or the RGB selected, you just want the Luminance selected. And we're going to select our Luminance stack here. And that would be right there. And you can keep all these the same. You can increase your lightness. That's increasing it. That's decreasing it. Same with saturation. Increasing it a bit. I like it a little bit dark. And that you don't have default is perfectly fine. You can choose to do chrominance noise reduction. It takes a little bit longer, but maybe about 30 seconds. Not a huge deal. So yeah, go ahead and by applying this process, we're just going to be adding our luminance data to our color image. So we just want to take a new instance and drag it over there. It should take like 10 seconds. And you're going to see the details pop while it still have the color. It's going to be noise free. It's going to be a nice clean image. All right, so there we go. So yes, the color here is fantastic. I'm loving the color right now. The background is smooth. The stars look nice. The noise is almost noise free, but the little noise reduction, that would be spot on. So yeah, I am officially done here. That's my method that I've always used for narrowband or LRGB combination. It's one of the easiest methods. I think you can do it in Photoshop as well, but this is fast. It gives you great results, and it's just easy. It's fairly easy. And I think the next thing here would be to just do maybe some more color adjustments. You can do that in Photoshop as well, but like I said, this is strictly an LRGB combination video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, comment below. I promise you I'll be sure to answer them all. Go ahead and subscribe because I'm going to have another video up in a couple days. I think it's going to be on either a full LRGB process. I'll probably use the same exact data. So it's going to be a full LRGB process from start to finish, deconvolution, HDR multi-scale transform. It's about an hour long, but there's a lot of things you might be able to learn in there and pick up. So yeah, stay tuned and see you next time.